Okay, so I read The Dying Detective. So this is what it's about. So Watson came to visit Sherlock, and his landlady said that he was dying. And he hadn't eaten or drunk anything in 3 days, and he hadn't really heard anything about Sherlock being ill, so he went to see him. When he did come, Sherlock just told him to stay away from him because he'd caught a virus, an illness from the yeast. And then when he picked up this ivory box, basically he was horrified and basically was like, "Put that down." And basically he didn't want Watson to see him, like see what was wrong with him, and he was because I think it was like he claimed it was spread by the touch. And then after a while he was like at 6 o'clock he told him to turn on the gas lights, and basically he said if you had to be seen by a doctor, he wanted to be seen by the one he chose, and it was this man called Mr. Culverton Smith. So Watson went to get the doctor, and at first he was like, the man was hostile because he didn't really like visitors. But then he went, his whole demeanor changed when Watson told him that Sherlock was sick, and he said that he'd heard a rumor of it, but hadn't been sure whether it was true or not. He wanted him to come, but he basically was like, I have another appointment. But actually he just went there before him to spy on him, and like the whole encounter. So Mr. Culverton Smith went to see Sherlock, and after talking with him, and he told him that the illness that he had taken his cousin's life. He asked him whether he wanted anything else, and it turns out that Sherlock wasn't actually sick because he replied in his normal voice, and before he'd been talking in this pitiful voice. And then the police came, and then it turned out that he'd murdered his cousin with a plant which had the virus on it, like a sharp sprig of something. I forgot what it was. And then it came out. So Sherlock explained that he wasn't actually sick, and instead made himself look sick with a combination of not eating or drinking for 3 days, belladonna for his eyes, and Vaseline for his face created a satisfying effect. He wasn't infected by the plant, as he had him carefully checked, and that was the reason why he was freaking out when Watson picked it up. He also concluded that he never doubted Watson's ability as a doctor. Okay, so I actually thought when I saw the title that Sherlock was actually going to die, or this was one of the last days. I knew that Sherlock was killed, and immediately thought he ignored the fact he was sick to go on one last adventure. When I read the story, I was surprised by the fact that Sherlock wasn't actually dying or even sick. I would give this rating a 4 out of 5 stars, as it kept you guessing, and I overall liked it.
Okay. So, what did you not like about the book?
It's not really something I would really read or something.
Uh-huh.
Like.
So, yeah, like.
I don't know, I'm not really one for detective books usually.
But you watch Sherlock Holmes. You're okay to watch Sherlock Holmes movies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.